Okay guys, this is kind of a funny little story. Travels with Dottie here, and it is October 1st, and I am still at the same place in New Mexico, Sumner Lake State Park. And here's the funny story. What I'm about to do, I already did once today. I strapped on my new camera, my new GoPro 10. And I took you to the crest of the dam in another little campground. And I got back and I realized I was all excited to see what the footage was like. And, well, I didn't press record. What can I say? So if you hang on a second, I'm going to test this recording before I go, and then I'm going to take off. Hang on. And just double check that it is recording, and it is recording. So hopefully that'll be the only time I make that mistake. So I'm leaving here from the campground, and actually I'm going to do something that may save your awning someday. It's not really stormy right now, but I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to pull my awning in because there is a front coming through later, and if it comes through earlier, I could lose my awning. So we'll go in here and close her up. And for those of you that are curious, there's Dottie. There's a Dottie dog. Now, I am capable of taking Dottie with me on a bike trip because I have a trailer just for her, a dog trailer. But it's not set up. It's packed into the truck. But you'll definitely be seeing me pulling Dottie around Quartzsite all winter because I leave it permanently hooked up, and everywhere I go on the bike, Dottie comes too. All right, I'm gonna try this one more time. So I don't know how well you're going to hear me above the wind, even with my little windsock on, but I'll give it a try anyway. E-bikes are a wonderful thing. They really are. They can be dangerous though. So if you get one, just be aware it's more dangerous than a motorcycle, or more dangerous than a regular bicycle. You'll be going much faster than you would on a bicycle, and unless you're somebody in really good shape into biking. But if you're like me, moderately active, the e-bike can create a false sense of safety while you're going fast, and you can easily wipe out. And on this trip, I'm going to cover a couple of the hazards that you should watch out for. Now, as you notice now, you can hear the chain kind of clicking down there. I am having to pedal because I'm on uphill, and the throttle alone will not take me up a hill. Some hills it will. And if you get an e-bike and you're light, you'll have a much easier time with hills. So things to watch out for. Under any surface that is not stable. That especially includes loose gravel and mud. My worst accident ever was going down what I thought was a grassy hill, and it turns out to be mostly mud. I hit the brakes and the bike locked up and I went over. And it wasn't hurt, but it could have been. The other, anything like snow, ice, anything, is you got no business being on your e-bike. Wet surfaces for sure. And the most insidious one that you wouldn't think would be too much of a problem is loose gravel. And let me warn you that you can, even if you're on a paved road like this, you can run into loose gravel anywhere and it comes up suddenly and you can easily skid on it, especially applying the brakes. So right now I'm doing about 17, 18, probably get up to about 20 with just the throttle. And 20 is this bike, it's an electric e-bike, not electric, but electric with an L, company out of Phoenix. It's governed at 20 miles an hour. Now you can go into the settings and override it and make it 28, but I don't know who would do that. 20 makes me nervous, and I only do 20 occasionally through short stretches in ideal conditions. The other thing that can happen is you can lose the front wheel, you can lose either wheel, rapid decompression of the wheel, and you want to always be prepared for that. Well, I want to stop here at the Hideaway Dining, Dancing, Lodging, Groceries, Bait, Tackles, Truckers Welcome. I saw this when I came here and think, how cool is that? But it's no longer a business. But I bet it was cool in the day. I can't show you any part of it. It says no trespassing. And there's this vintage tow truck out front that I bet channels like Matt's Off-Road Recovery and Robbie Layton or Fab Rats would love to get their hands on that and make it into something. Those guys are great at taking old things and making them into better than ever new things that can really do a job. So we are headed down to the dam and to check out a little campground near the dam. And like I said, it's round 2 for Travels with Dottie today. Today, we're pretty sure the record button has been hit and we are recording. So we definitely know the way now. It's a blustery, cloudy day. It's about 71 degrees, windy. It feels pretty damn good. It feels good. I spent a lot of time outside hot this summer, and 71 with a nice breeze feels pretty damn good. Yay! Now I'm cruising along, if you want to know, about 13.8, 14 miles an hour. Still, at this speed, a crash would likely cause serious injury. So my message is, if you get one of these things, they're a lot of fun, just please be careful. Wear a helmet. Wear light clothes. Like I have my bright white helmet on now, and instead of my regular black t-shirt, I'm wearing a light gray t-shirt, so I'm pretty visible during the day here. And I don't go on improved roads at night. I just don't do it. I just travel during the day. when I did this the first time I saw this hill, I'm like, oh damn, I may have to walk the bike up this. But I proudly discovered a lower gear, and I did have to pedal assist, but it was fine. I made it up, so no sweat. They make e-bikes now when you're doing what I'm doing, like when you're coasting down a hill, it's got, it generates power to put, use that resistance and that gravity to put power back into the battery. That's pretty cool. Now we're coming up to the dam here. And it has a little sign that says, no stopping at the crest of the dam, because people are, I guess they don't want traffic to back up or accidents to happen. But I am going to choose to interpret the sign that it doesn't mean little old me and a bike, it means people and vehicles. So I am going to stop at the crest of the dam, and my apologies to the state of New Mexico. I think it's Bureau of Reclamation, this is not allowed, but I'm just going to be up here long enough for the GoPro to take in the vista of the lake on one side, right? And the river on the other. And here we are, and there is a truck behind me. It was a ranger, and he didn't arrest me for stopping, so it's a good thing he was okay with it. But there's the river, the dam, and we're gonna go turn around, and there's the lake, and looks like a bass, that looks like a bass boat to me. I bet they're doing some fishing. Oh, it's definitely a bass boat. I see the trolling motor off the bow there. So I talked about doing something illegal, and the only car to pass is a law enforcement ranger. And he saw me stopped, and he didn't say anything, he just waved. You're probably caught in that shot on the left, as you're looking at the river on the left side, you can see somebody camped down there. There's a campground on the other side that I'm not going to today, but I am going to the one on this side, and it's called Shady Side Campground. And it's a left-hand turn up here. This is all part of Sumner Lake State Park. On both sides, there are campgrounds, both sides of the river here. There are no electric sites. There are improved sites that don't have water or electricity, and there's also primitive camping. And primitive camping means you can park anywhere other than a designated sites, and sites are designated by the existence of a picnic table and a fire pit, basically, and it's pretty obvious. So anywhere else you camp is called primitive camping. You don't camp too close to a regular campsite nor in the roadway, but anywhere else is pretty much fair game unless otherwise posted. So these are not reservation sites. It's first come, first serve. And when we get to the entrance, I'll show you the sign that says how much to pay and everything. But if memory serves, it's $10 for an improved site and $8 for primitive. But let's make sure I'm not wrong. We're going to be real close to the bottom of that dam we were just on. We're just winding around a little bit here, doing a couple switchbacks. Another place you want to be careful is on steep grades like this going down. You want to use those brakes. You want to keep your speed down because it can get, you know, the speed can get away from you pretty quickly, and all it takes is an imperfection in the road that you don't see, a divot, a rock, and you could be in trouble real quickly. And we're coming up on the sign here. See, it says stop. All right, developed sites, $10, primitive sites, $8. And you've heard me talk about how great the annual camping pass is in New Mexico so many times, and I'll say it again, it's $225 for the year. And at campgrounds like this, with no reservation and no electric, guess, you don't pay $8 or $10, you pay zip, you pay zero. It's free for 14 days. And they have vault toilets. And first we're going to take a look at the bottom of the dam. And there is an area you can camp down here. Just there's no designated sites down here, but there's areas certainly for tent camping. Well, if you got a trailer or something, it's going to be almost impossible to be level down here. But a tent, you can make it work. And here we are at the bottom of the dam. And when we get up here, you can see that massive amount of water shooting out of the bottom of the dam. Isn't that cool? Look at that. That is awesome. So I'm gonna check the monitor. And see how my recording's doing. Yeah, it's still recording, and I've got 51% on the battery. So there are two things. There are two things that are they warn you about with these new GoPros. And mine's a GoPro 10. It's a new one. I bought it new, but there are two models, the 11 and 12, that have been released since the 10. But on all of them, they warn you about two things. One, the battery life. Like, you know how long I've been with you. It's down to 51% over this short period of time. It really sucks the battery down. So you have to have extra batteries. And I have one in my pocket, but I probably won't need it since we're gonna zip through here and then go right back home. And the other thing is they overheat. I was using mine in the car, and after about 25 minutes in the car, I got a message, overheating, shutting down. So those are two known things, and I think that in the engineering of these things, there's some trade-offs. You want a little thing with this much power? Well, you're gonna suck the battery life, and it's gonna overheat, and they have not completely solved those problems. And people go into it knowing that it's an issue, and you just find ways to work around it. So here we are for the improved campsites. There's 3 of them here on the right. There's 1, 2, and a third one down here. And when I'm talking about gravel and grass and mud, this is the kind of place you really want to be careful on your e-bike. You can easily topple over if you're not careful. And I made the turn. And turning around can be challenging too, because if you try to turn too tight, you can topple over. If you don't turn tight enough, you can run into obstacles. Sometimes I'll just get off and turn it around manually. I'm kind of a wimp though, I guess. You kind of get to be like that when you get to be over 60. You're a lot more careful than you used to be. So this is, okay, there's a good example. It was too steep, too fast, for even with pedal assist, for me to make up. So what I've had to do is get off the bike, and you want to be careful doing that on the hill too. You can spill doing that. All right. Then I'm going to have to push it the rest of the way up. And it's true, you can pedal it just like a regular bike, but it's a one hell of a heavy bike, let me tell you. Like 65 pounds with the battery, I think. Now, once you get some momentum, I don't think we're going to have another hill problem. I may have to pedal a bit here, but I don't think I'm not going to have to get off. And pedaling, you know what? It's good for you. It's good for me. You probably hear me breathing hard, but I'm gonna make it. Definitely very quickly running out of charge. I did charge it a little bit between sessions, but I don't think it got too much. And those hills really drain the battery. So my estimation is if I can get, when we get on the main road, there's one big hill to go up. And if I can make it over that, I'll be home free. And here's the big hill. All right, well, here's a lesson. There is juice left, but not enough to get me up this hill. So I'm walking. And I think I'll turn the camera off, turn it back on when I'm back on the road again. Well, hey guys. So I made it up that hill and I turned the camera back on, but somehow I set it so it was just pointing down at the road. So it was pretty boring after that, but I'm really glad that y'all joined me for my bike ride, and I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed doing it. See you in the next video.